What's up, guys? This is Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Let me kind of adjust here. I thought had this thing set up pretty good, but apparently not. But thank you guys for tuning in with me. Tennessee back in the win column today. John Wilkerson got to say hello win column day. Tennessee wraps it up 7-4 over Texas A&M. I'm going to get into the good. I'm going to get into the bad. I'm going to get into the ugly from today, as we saw a little bit of all of it. But the good, of course, the win column. Tennessee's back in the win column here. They're moving on till tomorrow, or to tomorrow, not till tomorrow, to tomorrow. I know what they were saying the time for tomorrow, and I totally missed it trying to get ready here. So I'm going to pull that up while we're looking at it here as well. So look at SEC tournament bracket. Here, let me see if I can pull that up here. So NCAA.com has it. So Tennessee will play tomorrow. See, they were game 10. They will play the loser of game 12. So they'll play the loser of Vanderbilt and Mississippi State tonight. So it is possible they see Vanderbilt again tomorrow. And you got to think Drew Beam goes tomorrow. I think they're on a regular rotation at this point. Of course, yesterday they went more or less like a midweek game. That's what they treated it as. They let Nate Snead get some action in. And I think if Tony Vitello had to do all over again, he would probably have pulled Snead after 2 innings. I don't know if the result would have been any different. I really don't. Vanderbilt hit the ball well, and it was against your midweek lineup. The only one you saw a little bit of Cannell yesterday. Of course, Cannell closed it out today. And then, of course, we saw A.J. Russell yesterday. I don't know if we'll see A.J. Russell anymore this weekend or not. I could see it possibly, but I don't know if it would be tomorrow or not. I would think tomorrow you're looking at Beam and possibly Combs, and then they go from there with it. But the good today, Chris Stamos, what weekend are pronouncing it, depending on what it is. I thought he was really good today. He come out today, 3 1/3 innings, gave up the one earned run, had a walk, 3 strikeouts, did give up the 1 home run. Other than that 1 home run, I thought he was really good today. And, anytime your opener, I think, gets into the 3rd inning or more, I feel that's a plus for this team. I really do. And, hats off to him for what he did and really keeping this team in it and keeping A&M grounded while Tennessee's offense took a while to get going. A.J. Causey, going to A.J. Causey, I thought he pitched well today as well. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. He gave up a home run as well. And then Kirby Cannell, 1 2/3, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 Ks, an earned run. He gave up a home run there in the 9th inning as well. So I thought the pitching was really good today. Overall, 9 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned, 3 walks, 12 strikeouts. Gave up 1 double, 3 home runs, so 4 extra base hits. Got 10 fly ball outs, 5 ground outs for the day. So pretty solid day from that pitching staff. And, continue to talk about it as well here, that pitching staff, that weekend staff's getting the job done. I don't have any concerns about them going into it. Now, could your openers possibly struggle? Sure, they could when you get to regionals or super regionals. But right now, I really feel they've got a method that's working with Stamos, Causey on your first day of the weekend, or what that's going to be next weekend, whether they start on Friday or Saturday. Beam will go tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. I think Beam will go, and it'll probably be like a regular outing because it's going to be about at least a week before you play again. And then, you go, if they go another day, if they get past tomorrow, then I think you will see Sechrist and probably Snead. And I definitely think you'll see Combs at some point tomorrow on it. Ronnie Freeman, good to see you in here. Go Vols, good bounce back win, especially for the pitch. And absolutely, definitely agree with that one. JL, hope we see Vandy again. Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to beat Vandy tomorrow as well. If Tennessee were to get Vandy again and win, that puts them in the final 4 of the bracket. So let's see, they would play the winner of game 14, which would be, hang on, let me see where we're at. This bracket crap is kind of confusing. All right. Winner game 10, which is Tennessee, plays the loser of game 12, which will be Vanderbilt or Mississippi State tonight. That's game 14. So then the winner of that plays whoever wins tonight between Vanderbilt or Mississippi State. So then whoever wins that one goes on to the SEC tournament championship. So it's I guess the crappy thing for Vanderbilt or Mississippi State, if they win tonight, they still, in that regard, have to only be beat one time. So Tennessee could win 2 more and get to the SEC championship. I don't know. I'm mixed. I'm conflicted on that. I don't really care that they make it to the SEC championship, honestly. But I'm kind of like JL here. I don't want to see them lose to Vanderbilt again either. I would be okay with it if Mississippi State takes care of them. But I do always want to win. But at what expense? Do you want to exhaust your options and your team for the SEC championship, and then it come back to get you in your regional or super regional? Your lineup's going to play. Where do they go tomorrow? Is it more of a, hey, regional mentality, or is it more of a midweek mentality? Last night they went with, I feel it was a midweek mentality with so many guys playing like they did. So I talked about the good. In the lineup today, the good. Of course, Kavaris Tears, opposite field 3-run bomb. That was big. That was big at that point in time. He had 4 hits today. No strikeout. I thought he had a good day today, and I thought he needed that as well. I thought Tears has been a little bit rough lately. But good day for him, 3 for 5, 4 RBIs. Christian Moore, 3 for 5, an RBI, a double. He had a little bit of the old rabbit's foot today as well. A couple little dribblers that he got on with a throwing error once, and then he got on another time, I think, on an infield hit. I think it was Cal Stark with a home run. That was his only hit today, but still, he had a walk as well. So good for Cal Stark to kind of get out of that. But the bad today, gosh, I don't know if I could almost go straight to the ugly on this. So I'm not going to lie about it. The bad, 7 strikeouts, but that's the norm. I don't think it's too bad or not. The bad will go with Chapman, DH, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. He did have a walk, so he was on base once, but that they had Dalton Vargo at the end. He went 0 for 1. So that DH spot was kind of back to its normal ways today. Amick, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He did have 2 walks. I don't know. I can't really say much about the pitching that was bad. I don't really know the lineup. There was the ugly, though. Let's just get straight to the ugly. This one's pretty easy today, and I had a few beefs today. Yeah, Ronnie, I could agree. I'll go with that one. 11 men left on base. I could have almost went ugly on that one, but we'll go with the bad on that one. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and go bad. 11 men left on base. So there's your bad today. And they had Burke left 3, Inslee left 3. Tears did leave 3, even though he drove in 4 today. Curley left 1. Stark left 1 as well. The ugly, Blake Burke getting called at home plate on, of course, that was Tears hit out a chopper back to the mound. Pitcher never even looked him back. And Burke stopped. I get it. I get the hesitation, but you're still in that situation. You either need to commit or one way or the other on that. So Burke stops. It gave A&M a chance to get him at the plate. That was ugly. That was bad. Tennessee and how bad they are at base running year after year continues to amaze me on it. I don't get it. I don't know why they continue having these just fundamental breakdowns on the base paths. It just, I don't get it. And, that's guys making their decisions out here. That it is what it is in that regard. I don't know if the blame's on the player. I don't know all the answers to that one. It amazes me, though, year after year, how we keep seeing these base running blunders that we see. The next one, which was ugly, and I was a little hot over this one. Inslee misses a bunt, 0-2. Then 1 out. So there were no outs, second and third base. He misses the bunt. I'm getting freaking sick and tired of watching these Tennessee guys not be able to get bunts down. We saw it earlier in the year, but it's a freaking fundamental thing. You're playing college baseball. I get it. Guys are throwing hard. You're up here trying to bunt and stuff. But for God's sake, guys, learn how to bunt. Learn how to bunt. If you can't hit, at least get your bunts down. We've seen it numerous times the last couple of weeks. Guys cannot get a bunt down. And that kills me. Your best hitters are normally your best bunters. I get it. But if you're playing college baseball, you should be able to bunt. The fact that Inslee, he couldn't get the bunt down. I don't know what happened on the 0-1 pitch, but he's swinging. I don't know if they pulled the bunt off. I don't know. The announcers alluded to possibly it was a hit and run, but Billy Amick gets gunned still in third. Inexcusable. I don't know if there was a cross-up. Tony Vitello did not look happy in the dugout, so I don't know if it was a missed hit and run. I don't know why you're hit and running with the runner on second with no outs, though I can understand if a guy's on first. I don't get a second and third hit and run right there. Makes no sense if that's the case. That's what the announcer speculated on. Amick gets gunned at third. Inexcusable, and then Inslee strikes out there. Inexcusable all the way around in that one. Should not be happening. Fortunately, Tennessee's pitching bailed them out on this one. And then you get to bases loaded. Inslee freaking strikes out again on it. And then let's see who comes behind. Tears, I think, comes behind, and he didn't get the runners in at that point. Amick had struck out with guys on in the same frame, and then Inslee come up, strike out. I thought Inslee's been better today. Was not a good. I know he had a hit today, but there were two situations with runners on where, that's kind of the cruelty of baseball. Sometimes you don't necessarily get always charged with that left on base, I don't guess, but he had two crucial strikeouts with, he just got charged with leaving three guys on. That's the cruelty of baseball. He should have been charged with more on it because that's inexcusable. Can he put the ball in play? I thought there were some good frames earlier on where Dylan Dreiling drove the ball, got the run in. Christian Moore put a ball in play that got a run in where he made it. First baseman made a great play on it, but he had no play but to go to first. He had no other play, so it got the run in. It's little things like that, just putting it in play. But, that base running stuff cannot happen. It cannot happen in the regionals and in the super regionals, or you're going to come up and it's going to cause you to lose a game. You cannot leave 11 guys on base and hope to win regional, super regionals against some of these good teams. No matter, we saw it, a few years ago. You're playing a 4 seed, you don't take it for granted. Tennessee was lucky a few years ago to get by Wright State. They were lucky. Some bad pitch selection cost Wright State that game. You don't come in and hang breaking balls to left-handers when you're a right-hander. That was some of the dumbest pitch sequence that I've seen in Drew Gilbert's baseball. I don't know that it's landed to this day. He hit it so far. I've never heard a distance on that ball, but that was such a massive home run in numerous instances on here. Get to a couple of these comments here while we've got about 15 of you in here. I don't know how long ago. I wanted to see what the audience was like. I know it's a kind of an earlier game as well. So make sure you like this thing, you share it, you subscribe. Super chats, super thanks available as well. Hope Amick heats up. He's been bad to plate and on defense. I think he's been a bit of a slump too. We need his bat to get going for sure. Who do we play now? Talked about this earlier. Actually, may come in after I did it, Kyle. It's the loser tonight of Vanderbilt and Mississippi State is who will play on that one. No, we don't play the winner, Anderson. We play the loser of it tonight. So whoever loses between Vanderbilt and Mississippi State tonight is who Tennessee will play tomorrow, actually. And then if Tennessee were to win tomorrow, they will play the winner of that Vanderbilt Mississippi State game that's later tonight. So they Mississippi State did not lose yet. No, Texas A&M lost. That's why Tennessee played them today. Yep. Play the loser of the Mississippi State Vanderbilt game. We will play them tomorrow. And then if Tennessee wins that game, whoever wins tonight is then who Tennessee would play on Saturday. That's how it lines up. It's a little bit confusing. I get it. I had to look this over quite a bit. So I guess, for instance, if Mississippi State wins tonight, Tennessee would play Vanderbilt tomorrow. And if Tennessee wins that one, they would play Mississippi State on Saturday. And if they win that one, then they play whoever comes out of the other side of the bracket. LSU and South Carolina plays tonight. The loser of that game would then play Kentucky tomorrow. The winner of that game will play the winner tonight. And then they meet the SEC championship. Would not surprise me to see LSU, the way they played pretty good so far. It would not surprise me to see LSU possibly win the SEC tournament. But I wouldn't be surprised to see LSU and Mississippi State in the championship. I don't know. Tennessee's on their weekend rotation at this point. So, I mean, I could see Tennessee win this thing, still come back to win it. I don't think it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility because they're on their weekend rotation. The thing is, if they get to Sunday, you're going to be right back to like midweek game again. So I don't know because tomorrow you're going to have Bean. If you win that one, it's going to be Secret Snead. I really think that's where you'll go on Saturday. And then, Sunday it's up in the air. I don't think you're going back to – you could theoretically see Stamos threw – see how many pitches he threw tonight. He threw 53. I think he and Causey and possibly even Cannell are done for the weekend. Cannell could possibly come back later on, maybe Sunday. I think Stamos and Causey are done for the weekend. Snead, we could possibly see him. Can't remember how many pitches he threw yesterday. Combs has not thrown, so you'll see Combs a little bit. I could see him going back to, some of your guys that maybe threw yesterday and did not fare too well. I think that's your really only choice at that point. I don't see how else you're going to do it. You don't want to exhaust us, not for the SEC tournament or the SEC championship. I really don't think you do. So it'll be interesting if they get to Sunday. I mean, it sets up good for them. It sets up like normal for the next 2 days. But Sunday, I mean, who knows? They did that, a couple years ago when they won it. I think they went with Ben Joyce on Sunday. They had those options of numerous guys who could start. They just don't have that this time around. So, we'll see. I'm interested to see how it ends up there as well. I mean, I could see almost any of those guys who pitched yesterday go. But, I don't know that you're going to see a Dallas or anybody like that go. I think they've kind of shown what they've got there. I don't think Tennessee will be devastated if they don't win. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they kind of alluded to that yesterday. I mean, Montello said the right things on it. He gave Vanderbilt the credit. But when you look at their pitching yesterday, you look at how they made all the changes they made. I don't think it bothered them. I think they got accomplished what they wanted to. The main thing I would like to see the rest of the weekend, if you lose, there's going to be one of two things on it. If you pitch well and don't hit, you're concerned about the offense. If you don't pitch well and you hit, you're concerned about whomever's pitching. So it's kind of a catch-22 on that one, I guess. So, you look at it too, to me, if they get back to like your midweek pitchers and they get beat and they still hit, I don't think that's a bad thing on it. But, the last 3 years we've seen it with Vanderbilt last year, Tennessee the year before, Arkansas the year before that, winning the SEC tournament, and none of them. Tennessee made it for Arkansas and Vanderbilt did not even get out of their regionals. Tennessee got upset by Notre Dame Super Regional and won it. I still am not happy. Still have not gotten over because I feel there were so many mismanaged things in that series where I don't know. When they got to the postseason, something was off. Something was off in that postseason. It started when Evan Russell, whatever happened with him, and then it just really went from there. It was just things were off, and it come up and showed in the end. So I don't know if there were dugout issues. I don't know where any of that went. I still to this day don't know. And, Notre Dame took care of business. Tennessee did, and that's the bottom line. You got to give hats off to them. So that's kind of my good, bad, and ugly for today. Anytime you have base running new errors like they did today, anytime you leave 11 on base, anytime, especially you got bases loaded with less than 2 outs and you can't move the guys over, that's poor baseball. That's just poor baseball. Anytime you can't bunt guys over with no outs on first and second, that's poor baseball. And, one of the same guys was involved in 2 of those today. We'll see where it gets to when you go get on into it. The good thing is, in the regionals, you're going to play a 4 seed on whether it's Friday or Saturday night. You're not going to see whoever your 2 or 3 seed is. You're not going to see their main guy, or I wouldn't think you would see their main guy. If you get past that 4 seed, you're going to see whoever that is, their number 2 guy, more than likely. Sets up pretty well for Tennessee, especially it's going to set up well if they stick with the same rotation, going with Stamos, Causey, and then going with Beam for game 2. And then game 3, you've got, I think that's going to be your Sechrist, Snead. That still concerns me to an extent down the line, because we have seen Sechrist get hit at times. We've seen Snead get hit at times. Snead, for the most part, has been pretty good. But I'm not going to lie, not having that. I mean, last year, you look at what Tennessee had. You had Lindsey, you had Dolander, you had Beam. You got to feel pretty good on that, even though when they got to the regionals and super regionals, Lindsey and Dolander didn't have it. Chase Burns still bailed out Dolander a couple times. Bailed him out against Clemson, bailed him out against Southern Miss as well. Beam was their best starter I think it was by a pretty wide margin. You felt pretty good going to him no matter what the scenario was. You felt good going to him to close out Charlotte. You felt good going to him in game 3 to close out Southern Miss, and he got the job done both times. And then, of course, Burns closed Southern Miss out 2 games. Just cannot state the effect of losing Chase Burns this year. It's a huge loss. Anybody is entitled to their opinion all they want to. I don't know what happened in the whole thing, but the bottom line is it was a huge loss for Tennessee. There's guys you can afford to lose. There's guys you cannot afford to lose. You can't afford to lose a guy like that and not replace him. Causey's done a good job. Snead, he's done a good job coming over. They're not Chase Burns. They're just not. And just cannot continue to stress how big of a loss that was this program. If you'd gotten Luke Holman, which it looked pretty good for a while, it could have offset it. I think you would have been okay there, but I'm really hoping that the way they've arranged things, I'm hoping works out. I'm still, I guess, not totally on board with the opener philosophy. I get why they're doing it. And Tony Vitello alluded to it in the preseason that opener philosophy would be a part of it. Of course, they didn't count on A.J. Russell going down as well. If A.J. Russell doesn't go down, I guess I'm understating that how big of a loss that is as well. Let's see, any news on when A.J. might be able to play? I don't. Let me go back to yesterday, see if I can find any comments from yesterday. I didn't fully look at Tony Vitello's comments. I don't know if they've taken them down on any of these sites or not. They've already taken his interviews down from yesterday. Let me see if I can find it on UT Sports if they possibly have it, because I am interested to see what he might have said. I know he talked about Russell and his stuff getting that inning. I mean, he had a little bit of a rough start with a hit by pitch, and he gave up a hit, but then he had his good stuff and got out of that. But let's see here, UT Sports, and we'll pull it up from yesterday, see if I can find Vitello's comments. Nothing here. They've got the article. Maybe they'll have something. Let's see. Bear with me just a minute here, guys, while I find that. Don't see anything on there. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer to your question, Kyle. Let me dig a little bit more. See if I can find. Let me see if Rocky Top Insider has it. They're normally pretty good about having that. Here we go. All right. It's a free website. I'm just gonna pull it up, share it with you guys, and we'll look at it together here. All right, here we go. Pulling it up now. As soon as here we go. On Russell improving over the course of the inning. Kind of what he expected. Asking lots to try to be as honest as possible. There's nothing to hide. You've got kids being patiently aggressive towards getting back to 100%. So he's not there yet. Okay, so but again, if you're going to take away positive, getting their cleats in dirt, blah blah blah. He wants to face the best hitters regardless how it's going. Okay, nothing there. On here we go. On what AJ Russell's pitch count was, if they'd like to use him again this weekend if they make a run. Yeah, best case scenario, if we stick around long enough, he'll be able to do that. If not, then he'll just jump into a situation where he can face hitters again. We've kind of beat up the whole bullpen situation, so having guys standing in there, I think, is beneficial for him. Pitch count wise is more like 25 to 35. The fact he got in a jam, maybe if that double plays turnover, we've seen him back out for a hit or two, but with the inning kind of going the way it did, it was kind of group decision led by Frank. Not Frank Rock, but Frank Anderson. Let's just move on to the next guy. It was good for him to get out there. So looks like according to that, let's see if there's anything from Russell on what the building up was like. Throwing as much as possible, listen to his body as best as he can. Says some days he feels pretty good, especially early. Some days he was like, I don't even know if I can throw this right now. Fastball good, a few here and there were rough, but really didn't get what they normally do. I thought the fastball was pretty good the longer he went because it had that kind of tail on it. On where he feels like he's getting in 100%. Yeah, super happy where I'm at right now and how I felt today. I think the post stuff's really what tells me how I'm feeling, that kind of thing. I'm happy with it and just went about how I'd expected it. On if it was a big deal to get unscathed. So really not much there other than, yeah, they would like to see him again this weekend. So, I don't think you rush him out there. If there's any hint of soreness or anything, I think you keep him out this weekend. I can't see it. I don't think it's worth it. I think if he's feeling good, yeah, sure, get him out there and maybe see him some more at bats this weekend. If not, I think you play it by ear this week. He'll probably throw a little bit more, see how he feels going into the regional. And let's say if you just blow through the regional, which is easier said than done. Any time you get to the postseason at this point, you're going to see good teams. So you cannot take it for granted that you're going to blow through the regional. So, how confident would they feel in a tight scenario of throwing him out next weekend on it? This weekend, I mean, if you're going to do it and he's good to go and there's a tight scenario, I would not have a problem with it. And I think it would be good to see him do that now, opposed to, a loss this weekend it doesn't matter. Okay. A loss this weekend, you just go home, you get ready for next weekend. A loss next weekend or beyond, though, could send you to the house. So I think you got to be careful with that. That was a beef of mine a couple years ago when they brought Blade Tidwell back. I did not think he was ready, and they pushed him right up into that main role. Not that wasn't capable of it, not that he didn't deserve it. I thought they pushed him up there, and he got hit pretty hard, and I feel that was a big I don't know. I still question that one to this day. But if you get a chance for him to knock a little bit more rust off, like Kyle said, get some more rust off here, I think you take it this weekend, barring that the arm is feeling good. I just think you got to be careful with it. Next weekend, let's say you're up big on somebody, you want to get him a little bit of action, maybe so. But I would, I don't know. It depends where you go. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. It sucks, but you don't want to risk long term. If there's not the potential long-term there now, you don't need to basically expedite a long-term injury as well. Tony Vitello's been pretty good during his time of taking care of arms. There was times I thought he underutilized Ben Joyce, but he was coming off Tommy John as well. I know last year seeing firsthand Tommy John guys coming off of it, it is a process. It's a slow process. There's a specific program guys go through to get that back. I know by no means is AJ Russell coming off of Tommy John, but you definitely don't want to rush him back. You don't want to, if there's any soreness or anything, you don't want to do that. But we'll see. I think the biggest thing for him, and I agree with this comment here, I just hope he can go for the College World Series. If you could get to Omaha, I think you could possibly get there on your staff now. If you get to Omaha with a fully healthy AJ Russell, that's pretty big. That's another weapon in there for you. I mean, it really is. I'm probably honestly more concerned that you get to Omaha, you play in that bigger park. Some of this crap like we saw today, not getting a bunt down, running, still trying to steal third with no outs for some senseless reason, whatever happened there. That kind of stuff concerns me more than the pitching. Now, because we've seen Tennessee's offense get shut down 2 times in Omaha. They got shut down against Virginia. Texas held them in check pretty good last year. LSU 2 times. Of course, who could you fault going against Paul Skeens? But, the other guy for LSU went in the deciding game that sent Tennessee home. I didn't think that was LSU's top-notch pitchers, and they shut Tennessee down. Of course, that was not the Tennessee offense of now either. That offense last year, it had some guys in it. Don't get me wrong, but this offense is night and day better from last year. So, I'm hoping they're able. They showed signs earlier in the year playing some small ball. I hope they're able to do a little bit of that when they need to. You need guys like Inslee and Cal Stark to be able to play small ball and get the bunts down instead of these attempts or pathetic attempts they've had at it. They're better than that. We've seen them do it. You're going to need that moving forward. This team's ultimate goal is to win the national championship. That's the ultimate goal. There's no doubt about it. That's the ultimate goal. I think wherever they get to this weekend, they're good with it. After that, it's a win at all cost mentality. I really think it is. About probably gotten about as far as we're going to get on baseball talk here. Wrap it up. Getting into Chaz Lanier here. I haven't heard if he's going to announce tomorrow or not. I don't know that there's been a time frame on it. If any of you guys have heard something, I haven't. Thankfully we don't have old Patricia, the Kentucky, or not Patricia, Pamela, the Kentucky fan. Pamela was wearing me out last night and this morning, just going about freaking natties on here. It's like, I'm not once going to ban somebody over being stupid, but good gosh, it was annoying. And it's like, I'm dealing with Kentucky fans going about natties. They've not won one and going on 13 years. Now, I don't want to, it's like Tennessee football from 09 to basically 21. We really had nothing to go on except to refer back to 98 because it was so bad. Now, Kentucky basketball has not been that bad. I'm not making that comparison, but these guys now, Chaz Lanier was a kid the last time he won a national championship. He could probably care less about it at this point in time. Chaz Lanier is going to go where he goes. Nothing's going to surprise me in this one. If NIL's the thing, I really think BYU's offering the most money on that one. I don't know what I don't know any of their numbers, honestly, but I think BYU's probably offering some big money. It seems like they have a pretty good coach as well who could come in and, a lot of what I'm seeing said Kentucky and Tennessee, with Tennessee leading. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to stick where I've been the whole time on that one, that the consistent this whole time has been Tennessee. I'm going to expect Tennessee to wrap that thing up when it's all said and done. If it's for basketball purposes with some money mixed in, from everything I read, Tennessee really rolled out the red carpet. Rick Barnes knocked it out of the park. They put him with Sakai Ziegler, who recruited very well for him as well. I think you look at Tennessee's situation versus Kentucky's. Listen, if we sit here and debate history, yeah, absolutely. Kentucky's basketball history is above Tennessee's. There's no doubt about that. I don't think there's a single Tennessee fan arguing that. At the current point in time, though, Tennessee's a better program. Tennessee's got a more proven coach. If Chaz Lanier's coming back for defensive purposes, Chaz Lanier should pick Rick Barnes in Tennessee. I think that's a no-brainer on that one. I hope this recruitment wraps up soon, though. I really do. I could probably put videos out each day on it. I'm getting kind of burned out on it, to be honest with you. I hope it wraps up. Just for nothing else, some of the Kentucky fans that come out, and they're welcome. Don't get me wrong. If you want to come on and discuss, be logical about it, that's fine. But some of them are a little something else. That's part of YouTube, though. It is what it is. So I'm sure there's Tennessee fans out there that go and do the same stuff on other sites. If you look at social media, every fan base has their bad apples for sure. But just I thought it was pretty big. I put a video out earlier today. David Sanders, offensive lineman out of Charlotte, pretty much consensus top 5 offensive lineman, will be back in town again this weekend for 865 Live. It'll be his 3rd unofficial visit to Knoxville. I think it's a good sign for them. From some of the 24/7 mods I've read, they really feel like Tennessee and Ohio State are in the best shape, said not to discount Georgia and Clemson. Clemson's a factor as well. But that's pretty big news. Jamie French is visiting this weekend, 5-star wide receiver. And then I haven't seen who else is visiting, but this is supposed to be a pretty big deal this weekend with this Memorial Day weekend event. And, hopefully Tennessee can continue to establish these relationships. And I got to think, I'm pretty sure George McIntyre will be in town. Hopefully he'll be in town recruiting as well. So hopefully it'll pay dividends down the line for Tennessee football. And then Kim Caldwell announced her 5th assistant hire today with Lexi Barrier, I think was the name on it. So that completes her staff. Looking forward. And so, just waiting to hearing more recruiting news with them. It's been pretty hush-hush, to be honest, except when, it almost comes out after the fact if a player posts maybe they're visiting or something. So, if I run across any of that news, I'll bring it to you as well. But trying to keep you updated on all the stuff on here. Football, baseball, basketball, Lady Vols basketball as well. Trying to do the best I can. I know I missed some of it, but, it is what it is. Trying to keep you up the best I can. But the plan is, let's see what time that game will be tomorrow night. To be determined. So it looks like tomorrow, Kentucky and the loser of South Carolina LSU will play at 3:00. The Tennessee versus the Vanderbilt Mississippi State game is to be determined. So I'm going to assume anywhere from probably 7 to 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So the plan is to try to go live tomorrow night, and then we'll go from there with it. Something changes, I'll post something on the YouTube channel. Just let you guys know with it as well. But I'm going to wrap up on that one. I appreciate you guys coming in here, hanging out for a little bit. Tennessee wins today, 7-4. They advance on. And, we'll see where it goes from there. I think you'll see Drew Beam tomorrow for Tennessee. Vanderbilt may be down to I'm curious to see what Vanderbilt pitches like tonight, because they may be down to like their midweek guys as well, because they've been going a day longer. So Vanderbilt's probably getting close. They probably conserved some pitching yesterday on it, but it'll be curious to see with Vanderbilt if Tennessee does get them tomorrow, which I think is a possibility. I would not be surprised to see Mississippi State pull it off tonight. But I don't know. Vanderbilt's hitting the ball well. They're playing good baseball right now. Though, how's the other team's pitching going to look tomorrow? That could play into their hands tomorrow and the rest of the way. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. It's always appreciated your support hanging out on here as well. Make sure you like this thing, you share it. Any of you, if you checked it out, like the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Have a great rest of your evening. And last but most certainly not least, guys, as always, go Vols.